Former Director General of Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, Professor Efifini Azinge, has declared that the use of forces of coercion to undermine the democratic preference of voters is the worst crime against the rule of law. Speaking during a public lecture in honor of the late Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice of Rivers State, Sir Emmanuel Aguma'S on Wednesday, Professor Azinge regretted that the illegal use of security agencies to undermine constitutional governance. The public lecture titled "The Rule of Law and Leadership in Nigeria's Democracy." The role of the Attorney General had in attendance Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, former Senate President Dr. Iyorchia Ayu, former Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives Right Honorable Austin Opara, senior advocates of Nigeria, traditional rulers and leaders of the state.
Another brazen affront to the concept of the rule of law is the ignoble role of law enforcement agencies, to wit, police, state security services, the armed forces, in the affairs of governance and the bastardization of democratic norms and principles. Law enforcement agencies continue to be used as veritable tools for perpetration of election rigging in our polity. It is a notorious fact that this has been on since independence. However, since 1999, it has now assumed a disturbing dimension. To use forces of coercion to undermine the wishes of the electorate in an election is simply the highest form of debasement of the concept of the rule of law.
He said that good governance requires fair legal frameworks that are enforced impartially to protect the rights of all groups of persons.
The burden of good governance tied to the rule of law is to a large extent on the office of the Attorney General of both the Federation and the states.
The legal luminary said that the Honorable Attorney General has the responsibility of advising the government to ensure that the rule of law is maintained and government actions are constitutional and valid in law.
The Attorney General routinely advises the President and governors and the government on all matters of law connected with the interpretation of the Constitution, legislative enactments, and all matters of law referred to him by the government.
He said that the late Attorney General of Rivers State was one of the finest chief law officers and legal minds of Rivers State.
Emmanuel Aguma'S was unequivocally, who fittingly can be described as the best Attorney General. Courage, elevated thought process, and commanding presence made him the toast of his peers and colleagues.
Professor Azinge added that the late Aguma'S was unapologetically an apostle of the concept of the rule of law, saying that Rivers State benefited from his legal advice.
Emmanuel Aguma'S has played his part and now belongs to the ages. He belongs to the pantheon of great legal icons, and his legacy will live forever. He will be remembered as that Attorney General. He will be remembered as that Attorney General who will dust his books and head to the court to defend the position of the government he served, and served with a lot of passion.
Chairman of the occasion, Ima Okala-san, said that the organization of the public lecture in honor of the late Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice of Rivers State by the state government lays credence to the very special place that he occupies in the hearts of the governor and the people of the state.
To me, this is clear evidence of the very special place that our dear departed Emmanuel Chinwe Aguma'S occupies in the heart of the governor of the state, in the heart of the government of the state.
He said though Aguma'S was young, he carved out a place for himself in the history.
We are here to immortalize his memory. He had a grave sense of justice. I know my good friend Chinwe to be a very courageous man. He knew the decent boundaries as defined by law to ensure that democratic institutions, especially the judiciary, survived.
Head of Service to Rivers State, Rufus Godwin, said the late Attorney General of Rivers State and Governor Wike shared a passion for the promotion of the rule of law.
Both His Excellency the Governor and the late Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice share a common passion for the rule of law.